This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Mark Magnuson.
Hello and welcome into Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Mark Magnuson. Today is Monday, December 15th, 2025, and we're so glad you can join us for today's show. In today's episode, I will be joined by Sam Trainor of agmarket.net for our closing market discussion. But first, it is my interview with Dennis Christie of WinField United. He's going to tell us about new adjuvant technology from WinField United.
Mark Magnuson for the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, and I'm joined today by Dennis Christie. We're at the Cropland exhibit at the National Association of Farm Broadcasting Convention. And Dennis, I know you're very excited about a new adjuvant that is available from Cropland. Could you tell me about it, please?
Absolutely, Mark. We're launching SuperLock adjuvant this year from WinField United. SuperLock is a combination of a high surfactant crop oil concentrate and our interlock technology, which helps us with drift reduction, deposition on the target, and getting through that canopy to get more product on the leaf.
And from what I understand about adjuvants, it's all about that, improving the efficacy of what you're going for. So when you're thinking about an adjuvant, what should be top of mind for a grower in terms of whether they need it or not?
Well, I would look at, does it work? What's the risk? We've got a lot invested in the crop. We have a lot invested in the time to make the application. It's about the risk. And so that's one thing at WinField United that we do is we've tested this product in over 4 miles of plots this summer. Over 3,600 different tank mix combination measurements in our wind tunnel. So we know how this product performs. And that reduces the risk for the grower and provides them confidence that the product will work and do what they are expecting it to do.
And are farmers, are they receptive to adjuvants as a whole? Have they found the ability for these products to improve their operation?
Well, I think there's a little give and take on that, but absolutely we can typically tell the difference when an adjuvant goes into the tank, if it's the right adjuvant. So we always look at antagonism, and are we actually delivering the droplets to the leaf surface and allowing those droplets then to get into the plant, move to the side of action where that herbicide or herbicides work and do their job. So if it's the right adjuvant, we typically see benefit.
So for a farmer that's maybe wrestling a little bit with the financial side of everything and thinking, why would I want to add something that I don't necessarily need in terms of an absolute must? But you would come back and say then, well, hey, we're improving the efficacy of whatever products you're using. That makes up that difference for paying for that product. Is that what the message would be?
It very well could be part of the message. I think part of the message is, what did the combine tell us this year, or the cotton stripper? I'm from the South. Do we have a weed issue that escaped through what we did in 2025? How do we address that in 2026? Is resistance part of that? There are a lot of risks. Things cost money. We all deal with that. But this is our crop. If we've got some data behind the product to help us make a decision, I think it's certainly worth considering.
So speaking of that data, how can growers in Iowa learn more about this product and what it's capable of?
So the first thing I would do is talk to a WinField United retailer. They can give them additional information. We can help with the data, or they can go to winfieldunited.com.
Dennis, is there anything else you'd like to let our Iowa growers know about when it comes to anything you're working on at WinField United or anything you're excited about?
We've got multiple things in the pipeline. We know that technology is changing in application methods. We know that new traits are coming, and we're working on all of that.
He is Dennis Christie with WinField United, my guest here today at the NAFB convention in Kansas City. Dennis, thanks so much for the conversation here today. Really appreciate it, and have a great rest of the show.
Thank you, Mark, very much.
Thank you to Dennis Christie of WinField United for that information on the new adjuvant from WinField United. It is time now for the closing markets, and I'm joined by Sam Trainor of agmarket.net. Sam, how did we start the trading week off today in the grains?
It was a red day in the grain markets. Unfortunately, we did have some export flash sales to China this morning. Another 136,000 metric tons sold to China. However, the market was not very enthused by that, and it seems like the overwhelming tone here has been the South American weather, and then also some short covering. We did get a commitment of traders report on Friday. It's only good through November 18th, so take that for what it's worth, because as the USDA is still trying to catch up from the government shutdown. But that did show that they were near record long soybeans, not quite a record long, but awfully close, and that was as of November 18th. So it's pretty easy to assume that since then, it's no secret that these markets have been in quite a downtrend. So I think it's pretty easy to assume that there's been quite a bit of short covering from the funds going on here in this market. And in today's session, there's been a lot of chatter about this gap on the charts. We did go down and visited that gap, but we did not completely fill it. On the January contract, that gap's going to get filled at 1063. Today's low was 1067. We did find some support down there and actually bounced off of those lows, finished about 5 to 6 cents off the lows today in soybeans. So maybe a good sign here if we can get a turnaround Tuesday. Maybe leaving that gap open and going down and not quite completely filling it. Maybe that could turn things around here and get us going in the right direction, back towards those recent highs that we just had just a couple weeks ago.
So a bit of a negative day on the grain side of the markets. What did it look like on the livestock side today?
It was a pretty quiet day in the livestock markets. We did finish in the green, started off pretty strong there right on the open. We were up a couple dollars and then did kind of retreat a little bit of that momentum, traded both sides of unchanged throughout the day, but did post some fresh higher closes here. We're still well off of the highs that we've made not that long ago. But continue to be the same sentiment here. Cash values continue to be strong, and that is supporting the futures market. No different than the story that we were saying when we were originally making our rally up to those very, very lofty highs. Now, obviously, we did fall off of those highs quite substantially, but we are doing quite a bit of work to recover that move, and we still have the same fundamentals that we had on the initial rally. So things look to be in pretty good standing there on the livestock side of things. Hogs, however, had a little bit of a red day as well. They kind of shared the sentiment with the grain markets and finished a little bit lower to start out this week.
And Sam, as we're getting closer to the start of the new calendar year, have we had any more clarification, any more clarity on the southern border situation and when that is going to reopen?
We have not got any more clarity as far as a date or as far as when that is going to open up, but that's certainly going to be a market moving event once there is clarity. And I think really when it actually opens, because until then it's just going to be a rumor. And until we actually see that border get open and see those cattle come across into the United States, I think the market's going to be kind of leery of any headlines. But the way this market's been trading here over the last, really 15 months, it's going to be very volatile trade and something to pay close attention to, especially if you're a cattle producer.
What's the best way for our viewers to get in touch for more marketing information?
1-800-779-1515 is the phone number. You can reach us here in Normal, Illinois, or you can visit us online at agmarket.net.
Sam Trainor of agmarket.net, my guest here today. Thanks so much for the time. Always appreciate it, and have a great week.
Thanks, Mark. You as well.
Thank you to Sam Trainor of agmarket.net for our closing market discussion. Let's take a look at the closing numbers from today's trade. You can find that information anytime on our website under the Markets tab at iowaagnet.com.
March corn closes down a penny at 4.39 3/4. January soybeans down 5 cents at 10.71 3/4. January soybean meal up a penny at 303.50. January soybean oil down 59 cents at 49.48. Chicago wheat down 8.5 at 5.20 3/4. Kansas wheat down 6 cents at 5.12 even. March oats down 5 cents at $2.81. On the Merc, December live cattle up $1.03 at $230.83. January feeder cattle up 83 cents at $339.93. February lean hogs down 68 cents at $83.85. February pork cutout unchanged at $93.75. Class 3 milk down 7 cents at $15.82.
That wraps up our closing markets for today and brings us to the end of today's show. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. That includes our daily podcast of our Iowa Ag Matters program. From the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network studios in Des Moines, I'm Mark Magnuson. For Riley Smith and Dustin Huffman, you've been watching Ag Matters PM.